All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to AJ Chats. This was put together very, very fast. It was only about midday. No, when was it? No, was it last night, Matt? I said I might go live tomorrow
Yeah,
evening.
yeah, you
Yeah,
mentioned it last night.
and then you said yeah. So it's very sort of late in the day, getting it together. So we'll just see. But obviously, we've got Matt here co-hosted, Ian down
Right.
below, and Michael all the way from Ireland over there. That was a bad accent.
I mean,
How are
it's better than the most American actors try in movies. I'll give you that.
yeah. So let's go around. Let's say hellos. So Ian, how are you? What have you been up to? Have you got any plans for Christmas? What are you up to this Christmas?
Um, well, I'll just say it now, get it out of the way, and then I won't talk about it. But my wife died 4 years ago on Boxing Day, so Christmas is always, a bit. At the moment it is, but this Christmas I'm beginning to feel a bit more better about it when it comes out.
I'm sorry to hear that. I had no idea.
It's as well. It's just you get it's grief is a strange thing, In fact, all this has helped these last 6 months since I've got involved. My son really encouraged me to get involved in doing this kind of thing, and I've really it's been great. It's been a great outlet, and I wouldn't change it now. I'm only been doing this really for 6 months, and it's fantastic. Really enjoyed it. I think I found something, and people are great, and that's been great.
And you're getting around in the community with being on like Pete's channel and things like that. It's fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, I remember subscribing to you at 22 when you had 22 subscribers, and to see how far you've come is amazing. Like you are one of the 3 YouTubers I'll watch regularly, being the other 2 being above me. And I love your content. I love just how positive you are, and I love the positive.
That's what I've tried to be.
Yeah, and I love the love you have for Doctor Who, because it matches my own, but yours is obviously greater because you've been around with the show longer than I have.
Yeah.
Same with
That's why this week I was so excited this week, as you probably saw when the series season 2 arrived, the first Black and White, and it was personal because it was my first season that I watched Doctor Who when I was a little boy. So it was really great that, and I've been watching. So if you ask me what I've been watching this week, it's been mostly that. I've been so excited watching that. And
how is the Blu-ray transfer for it?
I did my Hammer one. I always do a Hammer. I did Curse of Frankenstein, and I've done. And last night I watched. I think you've done a review on this, AJ. Barbarian. I watched Barbarian last night, and I enjoyed it. I knew. I saw a trailer, and I remember your review, and I thought I'm going to enjoy this, and I did. It's really good.
That's the one split into 3 parts, isn't it? Essentially.
Yeah. Where she goes.
House.
Yeah. I thought it was really clever. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Yeah.
So, what about yourself, Michael? How are you? What have you been up to?
I'm good. Well, like I was saying before stream, I have the vast majority of this month and next month recorded. Tomorrow, myself and AJ are going to be doing a live stream over my channel. I've tried getting other people on, but they're a bit too busy. Unless, Ian, do you want to actually come over onto my channel at noon tomorrow for live? Whilst I have you here.
Yeah, I should be all right tomorrow. Yeah, to come over. Yeah.
Well, I'll message you after stream anyway. I have my yearly Christmas special recorded and uploaded. It is going to be a review of the very first Doctor Who Christmas special, A Christmas Invasion, and it's important for me because one of the things I've always done for my reviews when I'm using footage is I always pull from YouTube, but I actually ordered a disk drive off of Amazon, so I actually imported from the DVD that AJ gave me for free over onto the laptop just to use the footage to match it up properly with what I was saying. So I'm looking forward to that coming out on Christmas. And then in the new year, I will be starting a brand new series. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Good. And what about yourself, Matt? How's things been? Well, we've been talking anyway, so I know.
Yeah, fine, thanks. I've got next week 4K top 4K top 10 4Ks of the year, which I've done. Still doing my Star Wars. 2 more of those to do. So you've got one Christmas Eve and then one New Year's Eve. Yeah, I've got some things coming up for next year, already in the pipeline. Yeah, I've got a few ideas for next year. So obviously, I released my new sort of trailer, intro, shall we say?
Yeah, which is great.
Thank you. It's sort of telling you about my channel, you know, what I'm going to be showing, and you know, so yeah, it's just a bit more sort of brand identity, I suppose.
Yeah, no,
For next
absolutely.
year.
I've, as you know, I'm stuck with this room move at the moment, which is, it's just building. It's such a nightmare. But there we go. But I'm getting there slowly. I'm getting there very slowly. But no, actually, I'm making good. I think by the end of today, because after the 2 hours of this, I'll be back up there for a few hours. Most of the tomorrow, with the exception of sitting down with Michael for a couple of hours on his live, I'll be at it, and I'm hoping to get most of it done. I'm not going to be posting anything for Christmas. Oh no, well, I have got video done for Christmas Eve, which is my 12 Days of Christmas final. But Christmas Day, Boxing Day, the 27th and 28th. Is that right? No, or at least 3 of them days, I won't be doing anything. Christmas Day, Boxing Day, and the day after, I'll be way too busy before. And I've got nothing planned for them days, nothing in place. So the channel's going to be dead for 3 days, which since I've begun is probably the longest break it's ever had.
Yeah, I'm not taking any breaks. Well, technically I am and I haven't, because I've pre-recorded a bunch of content. Like I have on the 28th, we're going to be talking about doing a year in review, talking about the past year and talking about content in the future. Then on the 30th will be the part 1 to my Blu-ray collection update, because I went back recently and watched the first one that I showed back in like March. At that stage, I think I had like 20 or 30 Blu-rays, and let's just say it's a at least 30+ minute video that I had to split into 2 parts to show off the TV shows and then go into the movies. So part 1 of that will be on the 30th, and then I'm planning on doing another live actually on New Year's Eve on the 31st for an hour or 2.
Cool. I haven't watched your latest video yet, Michael. Your 40-minute pickup one.
Yeah. About that, I'm already recording obviously January's one, and in just about a week, it's already up to like 15 minutes. So get used to the 40-minute monthly pickups video from now on, because it seems I'm picking up a hell of a lot lately. And once I go to do the media room that I'm planning on doing in the new year, I'll be getting a lot more.
Good stuff. So let's see who's about first. So we've got a couple of comments. So Film Fanatic, how are you keeping? Hope you're well.
Right.
Video Tasties. I like your day. I don't know if you've seen this in his community when he puts up these pictures daily of Guess the Film.
Yeah.
Right.
I've seen that on his community tab every now and again.
I do get a few of them. Let me have a look at what he's. I don't know if I saw today's one. I'm going in and having a look now.
I liked his Catwoman one. That was good.
I don't think I saw that one.
Yeah.
I've got Young Guns. Home Alone I got. Let's have a look in his community. Oh my God. Name the film. I don't know if anyone's got it. Just based on that.
Is that a speedometer or?
Speed.
I don't know. Let's see what other people are saying. Eyes Wide Shut, singing in. I can't. The
Singing in
reply.
the Rain.
I can't see what the replies are. They never come up. They do occasionally, but yeah. So you got to guess the film on that picture.
I
Well,
wouldn't have a clue.
that says speed to me. Speedometer, but I'm probably way off.
Yeah, it looks like a speedometer to me, but I
know
don't know.
there could be a relevance to the colours. Does the blue in the background mean something?
I don't know, because it's either a speedometer or an umbrella, so I don't know.
Umbrella.
I don't know. It's but I like it. It's a bit fun. I like that. Yeah, I can't get that one. Gareth, I know you're still on. Has anyone got that one yet? Is any of the guesses right? Because I can't see the replies. Eyes Wide Shut. No idea. Singing in the Rain. Oh, yeah, an umbrella. But I don't know. Gareth says cheers for showing that. So yeah, I like them. They're a lot of fun. And I'm actually live with Gareth on Monday night. Here's Monday night. Watching National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
I still have not seen that film yet.
What? Christmas classic.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe with the new series I'm doing in the new year, I might get around to it if I ever pick it up.
It's a good film. It's good. Matthew Nichols says hi. Gareth, I'll come back up to film for next message. He says Singing in the Rain. Is that the answer? Is that what it is? Singing in the Rain.
Umbrella.
I
Funny what
suppose
we see, isn't it?
I was half right with my guess that there's either a speedometer or an umbrella.
I suppose the blue could signify rain, water.
Yeah.
So, who's this to? What's the first ever video? Matt, you answer that. I take that as for you, Matt, with your new logo, your new opening. What video was it you done the first one?
First ever video.
Because I don't know for me.
Including your intro logo opening.
Because yours is fresh.
I mean, I do have a intro that I use every now and again, but I just keep forgetting, and most of my videos have been pre-recorded before I made it.
Yeah.
Can't remember what it is. I think it was an unboxing, wasn't it?
I mean, if I have the opportunity, I'll do a new intro. Coming in.
It was your package. The package you sent me, and those are the bits.
That's where I think I saw it first. It was pretty good.
Was the first.
Michael, have you got my other one yet that I sent you?
Nope, I haven't gotten anything. The last thing I got was from England was last Saturday, and that was my dad's Christmas card. That was it. Like, I'm still waiting on a package as well from Danny from This Is My Life. He sent me one around the same time you did. So I don't know. I mean, I still have until Friday to try and get it.
Hopefully the fact you ain't got one from Danny is a good sign, in that they're both just stuck in the system with the strike been going on. But from what Danny showed me, he didn't show me what he's sending me, so I have no idea what he's sending me. But it's in a big package, so I say there's a lot of stuff from what we've been talking about in there. So I know something Yu-Gi-Oh's in there anyway. He mentioned about coming over to Ireland to see you, to me.
He might have mentioned that to me once. He has said he wanted to travel and he needed to get his passport, and he wanted to know like what currency we use. Like, so I just told him, you know, down here in what people refer to as Southern Ireland, we use euro, and up the north they use pound.
All right. Cool. So so I'm planning on, like I said, I'll do a new intro maybe for the new year, because I'm going to sort of mix things up a bit, change days around where I do stuff, just have a sort of refresh as I go into the new room, you know.
Yeah.
Film fanatic. Favorite director of mine is Christopher Nolan. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
Ian, who's your favorite director? Have you got one?
I could say obvious one, which would be probably John Carpenter, but I'm not going to say that one. I'm going to say Nicholas Roeg. for a lot of reasons. I just think he's people don't talk a lot about Nicholas Roeg. The fact he directed the David Bowie Man Who Fell to the Earth is just fantastic. And of course, but the best, I think, greatest British horror film, Don't Look Now, he directed. And he also had a history of being involved in cinematography before he became a director. I just like he did the Vincent Price classic, the Mask of the Red Ball. Sorry, the Death. I've forgotten the exact title, but he did the Vincent Price one, and it's absolutely fantastic. So Nicholas Roeg, and the film that I love the fact he also did Witches, the Roald Dahl story, the best one. I know they remade it. I absolutely love that one. I just think he's a great director, and but John Carpenter, in terms of what he's done, is such an amazing talent. Obviously Hitchcock, I would look at. So I don't know whether I have a specific favorite one. I just said Nicholas Roeg. You know, there is a lot of interesting directors, and I'm more interested as I'm going along. I'm learning a lot about directors because I'm enjoying the history. A lot with me is about history. I was thinking like Robert Wise. I'm starting to learn quite a bit about him, and I'm fascinated by him now. You know, I'm seeing that The Day the Earth Stood Still. It really opened my eyes, and then I got Star Trek linked with movie, and then the fact he did Sound of Music. It just all this kind of thing. I think, wow, this is amazing stuff. You know, so
cool. So. What about you, Michael?
Jonathan Frakes, since he
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
Because he directed the best Star Trek movie ever made, being First Contact.
I had Jonathan Frakes in my head. Because if it had got round to me and you hadn't said it, I would have said Jonathan Frakes just to wind you up.
Yeah, no, obviously Jonathan Frakes, but I'm actually, my real answer is going to have to go to Edgar Wright for the Cornetto trilogy.
Have you watched Spaced?
Space. No, I know it's on Netflix. I keep meaning to watch it. I know he wrote and directed a few episodes in that.
He wrote and directed. It's the whole show is him.
Yeah.
The whole show is him and Simon Pegg. Imagine it's exactly the same as what you got out of the Cornetto trilogy, but on TV. Yeah. Exactly the same. Same kind of editing, same kind of.
Yeah, like I've seen some clips.
Energy.
Yeah. Like I've seen a few clips online about it, you know, where Simon Pegg's character is given out about Jar Jar Binks, obviously after The Phantom Menace came out.
Yeah.
Some stuff like that. But yeah, no, it's on my back burner to watch at some point because I think it's still on Netflix.
I think the first episode of season 2 opens with the scene. It's very similar to the scene where it's shot in the same way where Luke Skywalker's burning Darth Vader's body at the end of Jedi.
Yeah.
It's Simon Pegg burning all of his Star Wars stuff because of the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually like the Phantom Menace. I don't get what people's issues are with that movie. I quite enjoy it.
Yeah. If you were there when it came out, you'd
I was a year old when it came out, so
yeah. But yeah. So Matt, what about yourself?
Well, I mean, I suppose the most consistent director throughout many years has got to be Spielberg, hasn't it? You know, fantastic director. He's made so many wonderful films over the years. Obviously, you know, Jaws being, you know, your favourite film of all time, and you know, I mean, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, a fantastic film. Yeah, just so many that I can't think of all of them, to be honest. But I would like to say I do like Zack Snyder. I did like what he did with the DC films. It's such a shame that he had a tragedy, in his life, because I think if that hadn't have happened, we would have probably had a Justice League. Well, we would have had the Justice League that we finally got, but a lot earlier. And I think things would be a bit different to what they are now. But yeah, and I enjoyed 300. He did really well with that. So yeah, but yeah, I suppose overall. Sorry.
Did you like The Watchmen?
Yeah, it's a good film. Yeah, enjoyed that. Very sort of adult comic book film, wasn't it?
Yeah, based on the.
Yeah, but overall Spielberg, he's just so many consistent films over the years. He's fantastic director.
Yeah, I mean, I like Spielberg's great. Christopher Nolan is good, very good. Like Dan says, Quentin Tarantino. Jonathan Frakes, he's not that good. Yeah. No, I don't want to get into that because me and Michael, we still got to arrange a date for this, Mike. For our sit down.
I did rewatch the Wrath-A-Con 2 about a week or two ago now, so it's still fresh in my memory for when we do go to sit down, and I point out all of its flaws.
Good in it. It's good in it.
It's top 4, not top 1 though. It goes First Contact, Voyage Home, Generations, then Wrath-A-Con for me.
Yeah, you're wrong. Anyway, what's the worst film you've ever watched?
I know what your pick will be, AJ.
What's that? Star Trek First Contact?
No, Men.
Men?
Yeah.
I didn't like it, no. But anyway, let's go round. Ian, have you got a worst film? It's a pretty hard question, really. Is there a film
it's a hard question.
You hate?
I can't.
Despise?
There's films I don't like, but I wouldn't say they're the worst film. I mean, the film I always talk about, and probably people be bored stiff when I talk about it, is 2001: Space Odyssey, which is considered the great sci-fi film, and it's not. Far from it. It's a bore. I've not even been able to. I've watched it 5 or 6 times, and I just can't get it. It's the only film I've never been able to get through. Really. I mean, I remember going right back when I was at university. I used to be in a film club that watched it. Well, I went for a pint at interval, and we didn't go back. It was so bad. So I still think that, I mean, people go on about it and say how wonderful and fantastic it is. I'd rather talk about Blade Runner, which is one of the great sci-fi films of all time. But 2001, I can see why, but it's slow and boring, isn't it, in the end? And can I really take Leonard Rossiter seriously in that role? I always think he reminds me of he was in a TV series as Reesby, he's still like, it's just, I just can't get through it, That's it.
So about Mike, you got a worst film that you
well, I'm trying to go with the safest option here. And I guess my safest option is probably a movie neither of you have seen. And that is the Mrs. Brown's Boys, the movie that came out in 2014. It was dog shit. Never should have happened. The TV show was better.
Cool. Never seen TV show. Never.
Well, I went with the safest option that isn't going to get people yelling at me, so I'm happy enough.
All right, cool. So what would be your unsafe option? That would
my 2 unsafe options is A Nightmare Before Christmas, which I made a video on. I think it's dog shit. My other one, which is definitely going to get me booted out of this stream, is Empire Strikes Back.
All right, let's get him.
I'm silent.
I watched it twice. I found it boring both times.
Fair enough. Let's not go into why.
No.
Maybe another day. It'll take up a lot of time. Matt, what about you? We'll circle back around to that. If we get into Star Wars, we'll circle back around to that one. I'd like to, but I feel that's going to go on for such a bit of time.
There's a film I won't ever watch again, which it's quite a favourite of Ian's actually. I watched it once, never again. Can you guess what it is?
Midsummer or X.
Yeah. I just don't like Midsummer at all. Just no. It stayed with me for days, that film, and I just found it. Well, no, not for me. So I wouldn't say it's the worst film, but it's a film that I would never watch again.
Yeah, it's it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. I had the same thing. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I've got a few films like that, Men being one of them, obviously. But I mean, it's a difficult question to answer in the worst film. I mean, the worst experience that I've had, I would say, was with the first Dune film. And I've said this before, you may remember, I was a kid. I was very, very ill. I was off school. I was in primary school at the time. I was just ill on the sofa, and my dad had it on. He was watching it, and I was so bored. And that's, although I loved the new Dune film, I really did. I thought it was fantastic. I just wouldn't ever go and revisit that old one because it just brings back those memories of that being sick. There's a connect, and yeah, that just so not that it's, you know what I mean, it's the worst experience as opposed to the worst film. I don't really know what the worst film is. It's really sort of, you know, because there's films I've switched off. Do you know what I mean? James Bond being one of them. No Time to Die, but it ain't going to be the worst film I've ever watched. If I got all the way through it, it wouldn't be the worst film I ever watched. Do you know what I mean? Oh, Matt's gone. I'm sure he'll be back in a minute. So Film Fanatic says he's obsessed with Spirited. That's the new Christmas movie with
Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell.
Yes. Has anyone seen it?
No.
It's fantastic.
No. I just refuse now to watch anything Will Ferrell's in. I don't like it.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Press the wrong button.
All right. We're on to Spirited now. And Michael's saying that he refuses to watch anything with Will Ferrell in because he doesn't like Will Ferrell.
I agree.
I used to like him
really
when I was
interested
a
in
kid,
him.
but now I just find him obnoxious, is the best way I can describe it.
Fair enough. I like Will Ferrell. I mean, some of his stuff is hit and miss. I will say that. You know, Anchorman didn't make me laugh at all. Things
I
like
found Step Brothers okay. It's not as good as everyone says it is. It's all right.
Talladega Nights. I just haven't fancied visiting because of the sports sort of side of it. Don't interest me. But there we go. Have you heard of Tom Hanks's new film, A Man Called Otto? I think I have.
I haven't.
I think I may have. Yeah. I can't. I may. Is there been a trailer for it? I don't know. Or I've read.
Yeah, I saw a trailer for it. Yeah, it was on an advert on YouTube. It just
okay.
Yeah,
I think I may have seen a trailer a while ago, but I can't remember it at all.
No, I can't remember the trailer that much. I just know it was for that film.
Yeah, I mean, he's a very consistent actor. He's very good, isn't he? In my opinion.
I love Tom Hanks. I just didn't like him in Elvis, though. That's the only role I haven't liked him in.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Dan, hi, how you doing, mate? You all right?
Hi, Dan.
Hi, Dan.
Film Fanatic says he has an idea for a murder mystery film. What about your Home Alone remake?
Oh yeah,
the old Kevin McAllister in the that you had an idea for. Or has that turned into the murder mystery film of Kevin McAllister? Just tuning in, so we'll get some questions sorted. But my favourite director is Quentin Tarantino, and worst movie I've ever watched is Spring Breakers. What's Spring Breakers?
I think I've heard of it.
I don't know. I don't think I've seen it, but I'll tell you what comes to mind when I think of Spring Breakers is what's the one done by Kevin Smith? Kevin Smith done a film with his daughter in. It wasn't called. I don't think it was called Spring Breakers, but it was something.
Something with a zoo.
No, I don't know what Spring Breakers is, but there we go. I watched. Oh, you go. Film Fanatic. Watched Avatar. Brilliant. 10 out of 10. 30-minute final battle. 3 hours 12 minutes. Felt like a minute. As good as the first film. Special effects in the Avatars are fantastic. You lost me. As good as the first film. Because I don't think it's a very good film. I know Matt's looking forward to it for the 3D and that, aren't you, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've watched some reviews and I've heard people saying that even if you didn't like the first one, a lot of people are saying that actually they prefer the second one. Very much more of an emotional attachment to it. Certainly, if you're a family man, you know, I think
can I just?
yeah, I think it's worth.
Can I just add this to the stream?
Dimension.
Good night,
Hi.
guys.
Hi, Dimension. How you doing?
Good, good. How are you guys doing?
Great, mate.
Nice to see you.
Nice
yeah,
that you could pop in.
thought I'd surprise you.
Yeah, no, that's great,
Oh,
mate.
oh.
Well, you're in your car, are you?
Oh, I sure am.
Are you off out?
Hmm?
Are you off out somewhere?
Yeah. I got my head cut.
Oh, nice.
Oh, all right, cool. What's the time over there at the moment? You're about 8 hours behind us, aren't you?
It's 10:32 here.
Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, we was just what was it? We was just talking about Avatar, the new one.
Yeah, I heard it's a really long movie, but I personally was never really interested in Avatar. I never even saw the first one.
Fair enough.
Never had my attention.
No, that's cool because Matt was saying. So I'll let Matt continue, and then we'll work our way around to you, Scott, and Dimension. Sorry, and we'll have a chat with you. So Matt, what was you saying before Dimension rudely jumped in and spoilt your conversation?
That's fine.
I'm only joking.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've heard, as I say, the reviews that I've heard are saying it's very much more about family and, you know, if you're a family person, you probably relate to a lot of what's going on. And I think that's the secret of Cameron's films. If you think about it, he very much does films where they can be very relatable to you. You know, you can identify with the characters. You know, the different situations and things in different films. And I think it's worth seeing. Definitely worth seeing the film at least once, rather than maybe just writing it off and saying, "No, I didn't like the first one. I'm not going to, you know, I'm not interested in the second one." I personally say give it a go, and you know, even if after the first watch it's not for you, then fine. But you know, you can't ever write Cameron off. He always delivers, in my opinion, anyway.
No, that's cool. So Dimension, sorry mate, just let Matt finish his bit. What have you been up to? Do you have any plans for Christmas?
Christmas plans?
Yeah.
Right now, we're just being patient until something comes up.
Okay, cool. And have you seen anything new lately? Have you had any new pickups?
I haven't been in the theater since Black Adams, so I think I'm probably finished. I think I've been to the movies like 9 times, and but I am looking forward to things coming out in 2023. I do want to talk about some movies that I really enjoyed this year, and some movies that really may shock you.
Yeah. Go on then. Give us one. Give us one that will shock.
I really liked Halloween Ends. I liked Morbius. I like Doctor Strange. I like Jurassic World Dominion.
That's fair enough. I enjoyed Jurassic World Dominion more on a second viewing than I did the first. It's got its issues. Doctor Strange I enjoyed. I like the character of Doctor Strange. What about everyone else? Everyone else seen Jurassic World Dominion?
Never seen
Yeah,
any
I've
of the
seen it.
Jurassic Park films.
I bought it to use your phrase, a blind buy. But it wasn't really. I knew I'd like it because plus it's a complete collection and all others. So I got it on 4K, and I was surprised really myself. I thought it was very enjoyable. I've watched it a couple of times already. I know the weaknesses, and like you made a good point about that we could have done with a bit more of the dinosaurs walking in the cities and the real sort of world, if you want to put it like that. That would have been nice. But I thought they did it really well, and it was a nice ending to the whole series, and I enjoyed it. Yeah. What more can you say?
That's fair enough. You get enjoyment from it. That's perfect. What about you, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, I've got it on 4K. I haven't watched it. I mean, I haven't watched the extended cut yet. So, I'm quite keen to watch that at some point to see whether that brings anything else. Okay, it was enjoyable, but I do feel it wasn't really needed. Bringing back the old characters, it was nice to see that, but do think really now they should kind of put it to bed. I think if they do any more, it's just rehashing. I'm interested in this 65 that's the trailer's come out for that. Has anyone seen the trailer for 65?
Yes. Because you sent it to me. It's Adam Driver lands on Earth 65 million.
Now I think I know what you're talking about.
In the poster for it, yeah.
That looks interesting.
It does indeed. It does. It looks, like it could be a sort of decent popcorn flick. So, interestingly, Dimension brought up Black Adam. I was going to talk about this. So I'll say it now. Have you seen the news about Dwayne Johnson not following Warner Brothers and DC and all that?
Yes, I have. It's all over my media.
Yes. As a DC fan, how do you feel about all this? Because you like all the comic book stuff, I know, because you pick it all up. I see you picking it up. So what are your thoughts on this whole DC situation now?
Not being Henry Cavill, not being Superman and all that. It's sad. I can tell you on a bright note, at least fans have fought enough to convince the studio to release Zack Snyder's True Vision version of Justice League. So, and I still like to keep my hopes alive about that potential David Ayer cut of Suicide Squad, because that's supposed to tie into Zack Snyder's Justice League as well.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I think they're not going to make any friends having got rid of Cavill.
I know it's really, really sad. We just, spoiler alert, got him back for Black Adam in the post-credit scene.
Yeah, I know.
It's sad.
And it looks like Black Adam's done as well. Dwayne Johnson won't be back for that role. So next news you'll get is obviously Shazam will be done after Shazam 2. It kind of sort of renders the film. I mean, obviously I watch the films. I like the films, the DC films, for the most part. But it kind of renders Aquaman 2, Shazam 2. Is there another one coming?
Flash.
And
Blue
It kind
Beetle.
of renders them moot, doesn't it?
Sadly,
Yeah.
Kind of renders them pointless.
See why do them really? Because it's a reset button and whole brand new cast, isn't it?
I mean, you could get away.
And Aquaman 2.
Sorry?
Aquaman 2 in the Lost Kingdom. That stuff's yet to come out.
Yes. Yeah, all three of them.
as if it does come out.
Kind of pointless exercises now. I mean, it would have been interesting because I think did I say this? Someone said it to me. I can't remember who it was about Flashpoint. It would have been interesting to see Flashpoint reset things, but you would have needed Ezra Miller to remain as the Flash to carry that connection over. And with Ezra Miller,
They won't do that.
no, they won't. Sorry, Michael.
They most certainly will not continue on with Ezra Miller.
No, they won't. It's sad, really.
Yeah.
You've lost all the DC TV stuff pretty much now, haven't you?
Mm-hmm. They're on the boot.
Well, I don't know. Anyway, let's have a look at some messages. So Dan says, "Jack, you're looking like James Bond there, Matt."
More
Yeah,
like the
More
milk
like-
tray man, probably.
More
the
like what
milk
is called villain.
I like that. James Cameron, another masterpiece. I wonder how they do it. It's stunning with vibrant lights, and the avatars are stunning. And the adventure to sea is stunning. Pandora is better than ever. I'm sure it is. We've just spoke about that. He just asked that question.
I actually messaged Henry Cavill on Instagram.
Yeah.
Thanked him for being Superman. He hasn't. Well, I don't know. You never know. He might sort of heart it, but who knows? But yeah, I just wanted to say thanks.
Yeah, you did tell me. Fair enough. So can you guess the quote, this classic quote? That's easy.
Not for me.
What classic film?
It's up. Angry Little Elf.
No
I'm
idea.
not sure if that's... I'm not sure the quote is correct. I think he's an angry elf is the quote. No one know?
No.
The film title's in the actual quote. Elf.
Elf is it? Oh,
Yeah.
No
Well, you
idea.
don't like Will Ferrell, so I don't expect you.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen Elf. I own it. I don't know why I own it. But yeah, no, I haven't seen it, so that's why I didn't get it.
Yeah, there has an angry man neighbour based on a book called A Man Called Otto. Oh, I think that's the Tom Hanks film. Yeah, he's still working. You've got a lot on the go. Calling it Home Alone again. But didn't you say that he wasn't alone?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
He was with someone. Home Not Alone again. Have you watched Wednesday yet? Has anyone watched Wednesday?
I've been
No.
meaning to.
Okay, what was that dimension? Sorry.
I haven't decided to watch Wednesday.
Okay. Michael?
It's on my
Oh, yeah,
back burner. That's for sure. I just haven't had access to Netflix recently, so now that I do, it's definitely going to be on the back burner.
Ian?
no, I am no.
Matt, you haven't, have you?
No, it's not really something I'm that fussed about, to be honest.
I've seen the first 2 episodes, and if I see anyone doing that dance again on TikTok or anything, I don't know what I'll do. My phone will be going out. So, I haven't even got to that episode yet where she does that dance.
I think that's episode 4. From an interview that I've seen with Jenna Ortega, I think it was episode 4.
Here's a good question, yeah, from Gareth. I like this question. Battle Beyond the Stars or Buck Rogers in the 25th century?
My answer is going to be pretty easy. I have not seen either of them.
Ian, I know you've probably seen both of these, surely.
It has to be Buck Rogers. Oh
All
yeah,
right.
I love Buck Rogers.
Cool.
Definitely, yeah, definitely Buck Rogers. Seeing what was the name of the lead actress in Buck Rogers?
Oh, yes.
I remember
oh, she's hot, isn't she? If you're allowed to say that.
Yeah, I know what
Yeah,
you mean. Yeah.
That's what I remember it for.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, let's say that Battle Beyond the
Wilma
Stars did
yeah.
have some, decent looking women in it in
Yeah, well, they did in
decent attire. Yeah.
yeah.
Matt, what about yourself with them two?
Yeah, I'd say Buck Rogers. I love the TV series. Fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dimension, have you seen any of them?
I don't know anything like that.
Okay, they're probably because you're quite young, aren't you? They are.
Yep.
They're very old. Buck Rogers. is
Erin
more
Gray.
TV. Sorry.
Erin Gray.
Oh, yeah,
Colonel Wilma
that's
Deering.
it. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
they're very old. Buck Rogers is probably, what is that? Would that be 70s? Late 70s,
80s. He was
I
80.
know of Duck Dodgers in the 25th and a half century.
Yeah,
That cartoon. I love that cartoon.
that's a
That
spin.
as
Yeah, I
far
used
as
to
I
watch
go.
that as well.
Yeah.
But for
Amazing
me,
theme song.
I've got to go Battle Beyond the Stars. I loved that film
Okay.
as a kid. I thought it was a fantastic film. Obviously, it's Roger Corman film, so it's quite cheap. But you've got
Yeah.
Thingy in it. George Peppard was like Space Cowboy, fantastic. Thingy does the soundtrack. James Horner.
Yeah.
James Horner does a fantastic soundtrack in that film. Fantastic score. Do you know who James Horner is, Michael? He's like, he's fantastic. Well, he's passed away now, isn't he, James Horner, I think. But he done the music to Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan.
Oh yeah, now that you mention it, I do. The name does seem familiar because I watched a few people do Star Trek retrospectives. And when they get to the worst Star Trek movie ever made, they do mention that.
Yeah. A question to each of you: what movie would you? What movie do you think would benefit from a remake? Let's go round. Dimension, go with you first. Your
What is
turn.
that? What does that mean?
Like, what movie do you want to see get a remake?
Yeah, what film?
Like
Newer version.
A new version, eh? That's a good question. It's hard to think.
I think Dan knows what my answer is going to be to this.
I think he knows mine as well because I made a YouTube short about it recently.
Still thinking?
Yeah.
We come back to you.
Yeah, we'll come back to you. Matt?
Yeah.
Yep. Buck Rogers in the 25th century. I think that would make a great remake.
Cool.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yes, it's a franchise I haven't looked at remaking as either a TV series or a film, isn't it? As far as I'm aware. Well, I mean, as in spoke, I've never heard rumblings of it. So yeah, that'd be good. Ian, what about yourself?
I'm generally tend to be against remakes a lot of the time. Because if it's especially a classic and you think you can't do any better than that, and do they ever do any better than that? Very rarely. But there has been some remakes. I can't. I really can't think of any. It's terrible, isn't it?
We come back to you.
Yeah.
Because Dimension's still got I don't know if he's got one yet, but we'll find out. Michael, what was your one?
Mine is going to go to 9, the sock puppet animation film that came out in 2009. I'd love to see it either get a sequel or a remake because there were rumors, or not rumors, rumblings a couple of years back that it was getting a sequel because one of the Facebook pages, old Facebook pages to advertise the movie, give like a bit more information in the background, piped up after several years after the movie came out, saying, "Oh, I must find all 9 or what have you," and then silence. Nothing happened after that. So did the sequel get cancelled or not? But I definitely think it deserves at least a remake because I think given either do a proper stop motion animation or proper CG, it would make it look so much better because it has an amazing story regardless. So I just would love to see it remade because it's such an underrated film. Not many people know about it unless you know of Tim Burton. That's the only way people know of it.
Fair enough. Okay, my choice would be Spawn. There we go. Dimension, have you got an answer yet?
Okay, I think I want to see a reboot of or a reboot of the Spawn character.
Yeah, it's ripe for one, definitely. Because even the old film, I've got a. It's a bad film.
I've heard that
I like-
there was a new reboot of Spawn in the works, but it just ain't hurt nothing.
Yeah, Todd McFarlane's always wanted to direct himself. Obviously, he's got a lot of control over it, but it's his character and he owns every facet of it. But there we go. But yeah, no, Spawn's, has to be my choice. So, Ian, did you come up with anything?
No, only maybe a TV series that I loved, and they did a film, and they made such a bad mess of the film, which was the Avengers, the 60s series, the Avengers between Diana Rigg and Patrick McNee, and they did an awful. I don't know if anybody's seen that Avengers film.
I quite like that.
There was no chemistry.
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
I've heard of
I've
it.
got
I think
it.
I've seen it in my TES.
Wouldn't it be nice? Because they had such a good relationship, and I love the zany stories about the Avengers. It got more and more zany. It was a great series, and it would be good if you could get to an actor and an actress who were really into it, and add that sort of. Wouldn't it be great to do like a 60s film as well? Do it as if it was in the 60s. I think that would be great, but
it would. But that opens up
won't.
that I won't talk about now. I won't take it down the level. But yeah, no, Avengers. Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing it in the cinema. I actually went to cinema to see the film back in. It was in the 90s. It was late 90s, wasn't it? I think 98.
Yeah.
Yes.
I forgot who was in it. It was not. They didn't capture anything of the original series. So.
What I remember about it was the world was unpopulated. Like when you had shots in the city, there was no one. There's just the main cast. There was no other people in the film. There was no. It's like the world had no one in it, which was very short. It stood out very much like that. But there we go. Black Adam post-credit scene. Excited, liked it. Led to nothing. Yep. Are you excited for Shazam 2?
I am. I still am.
Yeah, I like Zachary Levi. I liked him when I used to watch Chuck with him in the TV series, where he was like he worked in just a normal shop, but he got caught in this spy world. It was sort of like a comedy, kind of action comedy type of a series. It went for 5 seasons, and it starred Yvonne Strahovski as well, who you might remember from what she's been in. She was in The Predator as the wife of that bloke, but she disappeared halfway through. So, anyone else looking forward to Shazam 2?
No.
Fair enough.
Didn't really
Never
like
seen the first
that
one.
much.
No interest in it whatsoever.
Okay.
I've not seen the first one.
Fair enough. So it's just me and Dimension then. I like Shazam. I know that you think it's not really a fit for the DC world. And like I said to you, the character actually was developed before DC and then taken into DC Comics. And his original name in the comic was actually Captain Marvel.
Yeah, it sure was.
Yeah, but they couldn't. They had to change it to Shazam because of the whole Marvel and Marvel having a Captain Marvel when DC took it and all that sort of thing.
In fact, there are two comic book characters that goes by the same name, Enchantress, and they're both female.
Yep.
What
You
your
always get
thoughts? Oh, sorry.
No, I say you always get that with DC and Marvel. You always get, you've got Swamp Thing and you've got Man Thing, and all people always think that Marvel's Man Thing was a copy of DC Swamp Thing, but Marvel actually done Man Thing a couple of months before DC done Swamp Thing. It was the other way around. But you've always had that sort of, Deadpool is another one. Deadpool, you've got Deadpool and you've got
Deathstroke.
Deathstroke, yes.
Yeah.
And Deathstroke, his name is Slade Wilson.
Yep.
Deadpool is Wade Wilson. You know what I mean? You always get it. But sorry, Matt, you were saying.
Dimension. I was going to say, Dimension. What's your thoughts on James Gunn's sort of ideas? He wants to create, certainly Superman is his main focus. This is what but he wants to go for a younger Superman, you know, in his early days. But what's your thoughts on that? You know, do you think that's a good direction to go in, or?
Well, if that is his idea, then we have to see how it turns out to be. It is still at the same time very sad we never got a Man of Steel 2, even though technically Batman v Superman is a continuation to that movie. But I guess if they want to do that, then we just have to wait and see how it turns out.
So who do you think he might be good as Superman, a younger Superman? Any actor that you can think of? Because I can't.
No, I cannot think of a good actor who would be right for that role.
That's
you have to give these guys a chance.
Yeah, that's the problem. They're all, I mean, with the exception of them trying to get Nicolas Cage into the suit, which they did, they just didn't film it. Superman's, it's always best to go for an unknown, because you don't want to see, you know, if Nicolas Cage ever done Superman, like you know, if that ever happened, you wouldn't be seeing Superman. You'd be seeing Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
See what I mean? So, and that's what they like with James Bond as well. They need an actor that's unknown. I don't necessarily like the idea of a younger Superman. You know, Man of Steel, he just literally stepped into, you know, he just becomes Superman in that film. You saw him become, you know, that character. Christopher Reeve, you know, he just becomes Superman. I much prefer, like I said to you, Matt, what the Superman and Lois TV series is doing. It's Superman later in life. He's got children. He's got those family commitments. It's put the character into a situation we've never seen him in before. Do you know what I mean? And Batman is a character. Show. Batman is a character that you can get away with doing young or old because he's a normal person. So, you know, a fresh-faced Batman, he's wet behind the ears. An old Batman, experienced, but Superman's so overpowered that it doesn't really matter at what point in life you get him. He's Superman. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
but I mean, all we're gonna get is a movie version of Smallville, if you ask me.
Yeah. So
we're going back to that sort of, you know, the infancy of how he became Superman. Which, you know, I enjoyed that as a series. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I've got my doubts about DC as a movie franchise because it hasn't worked so far. Will a reboot make any difference? I don't know. I'm not so sure.
I think they're coming into it pretty late as well, as in the sort of bubbles bursted. Well, I won't say the bubbles. I said this to Dan. The bubble's not burst, but the bubble's certainly deflating for the superhero genre.
Fatigue, yeah, definitely.
It's had its highs. It's had its highs, and now it's on a slow downward trend. So it'll be interesting to see. It's a shame DC never got their act together, but as Dimension can probably you know, cite as well, they had it in animation. Their animation was spot on. DC animated films were fantastic. Oh, they are fantastic for the most part. They're really good. You know, that's where their strength lies at the moment. But there we go. So I'll take it, Michael and Ian. You got really know. Have you got any thoughts on that sort of stuff? Or genre stuff, do you? As much?
I'm not really pushed with DC, but one thing after, you know, Henry announced his departure, the one thing I did see pop up on my TikTok For You page more often is that one scene from Ted 2 where they go to announce Jonah Hill as the next Superman, and you just see Mark Wahlberg yelling "fuck" at that, and that would be my reaction to if it is Jonah Hill as a joke.
It's not going to happen. Ian, you're not.
I've got a terrible feeling that, well, I don't know if it's terrible, it's natural evolution, really, that the superhero movies will definitely, and it's showing already, are in decline generally, even if the quality is good. But it's a cycle thing. We should accept it and not get too worried about it. But I suppose people get worried because money, as usual, is coming in. But it's something you have to accept. You know, it's things go in cycles, and that's the way the film industry is. And
Yeah, no, absolutely.
all these things going on at DC, in the end, aren't going to make much difference to what the public, you know, who go to see movies, is going to make any difference, really, unless they can really come out with something that's going to have to be really special, that's really different. Then I think, you know, it's just going to go carrying on, you know, in the cycle of things. It's like Marvel. And we've already seen what's happening with Marvel, haven't we? And the public have just had too much. They've had enough, really.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, One Real Nerd says hi. I don't know. I did actually message on Twitter. One Real Nerd. I didn't actually check whether he'd messaged me back or not. I'll tell the truth. We want to get you on at some point.
I didn't know you had a Twitter.
Yeah, he does.
I deleted mine.
I need to look on for you, Matt. See if you are on there.
Oh, I am. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I did check. I must have created an account at some point.
Oh,
But yeah, I just don't really use it. But I suppose if there's a few people I could connect with, you know, but it's not something. I mean, I've got Instagram, and you know,
I deleted mine, and like I had a few decent people following me. Like I had actually the original actor who played Ichep in Star Trek Voyager follow me on Twitter out of the blue twice when I made my deleted my first account, made a new one, and then I've deleted that one since.
Who's Ichep?
From Star Trek Voyager, you know, one of the Borg kids that was saved, that got killed off in Picard, season 1, episode 5. That had everyone up in uproar over.
No, because I've only ever seen Star Trek Voyager once when it first came out, and even though I've got them, it's my least favourite of the original Star Treks.
Yeah.
So I don't know Ichep, unfortunately. So Film Fanatic says his kid. That's his Home Alone pitch.
Yeah. Yes.
So your mum keeps calling me. What do you like better, carnivals or circus?
I'm a more carnival guy.
He's corrected his spelling in the second one on circus. Now, is a carnival? And forgive my ignorance. Is a carnival an American version of a circus?
I like to think no.
What is a carnival? Could be in a street. Oh, you can have street carnival, can't you? Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Not an Hill Carnival.
Rio.
Yeah, of course. So I don't know. I don't really like either. I don't like circuses. I hate them. I can't watch a film that's focused around a circus, apart from Big Fish. It's the only one.
Octopussy.
I'd seen it for years, man. Not watched it for years. So Grey. One Real Nerd says Grey. Grey. I don't. Her last name Grey. Who's that? I'm lost. Film Fanatic. I like the music to Spirited. Yep. Cat in the Hat horror film is called The Mad Hatter or The Mad Cat.
Wow.
There you go. Dimension. What do you think of Indiana Jones and the new trailer?
Honestly, I've never seen Indiana Jones before in my life.
Wow.
I was growing up watching Star Wars.
Okay. Interesting. Need to do some catching up.
If I'm interested.
Yeah, Matt. Sorry, no, don't go to Michael. I know Michael's waiting. He's itching. He's itching to say this. Go on, Michael.
I've never seen a single Indiana Jones film, and I don't intend to. They just don't interest me whatsoever.
Why not?
I'm on that same page.
Wow.
It just doesn't interest me. Like, the only bit of Indiana Jones media that would interest me is the Lego video games that they came out with, just because the Lego games are always very fun to play. That would be about it. I don't think I'll ever.
More fun to play if you know the films, because you're playing the film.
Yeah. No, it's just the way the old Lego used to do things without the voice acting. I used to find very funny. So.
All right, Ian.
They've only made 3 Indiana Jones films. That's it, as far as I'm concerned. Totally unnecessary. The 4 and this one is totally unnecessary.
What about the Young Indiana Jones TV show?
What about it?
Yeah, I don't really remember it.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Matt, what's your thoughts on Indy?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the trailer and I wasn't blown away by it, but they're kind of de-aging Harrison Ford in certain scenes, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely see it. As I say, I wasn't blown away with the 4th film, although there were aspects of it that I did quite like. Certainly at the start of the film, I did like the sort of 1950s feel about the nuclear bunker and all that. And it was nice to see the warehouse, obviously, where, the Ark of the Covenant is kept. But Harrison Ford playing the role, really, he's too old. It's the same as Picard, Patrick Stewart. You're bringing back actors which really, it's trying to recapture something which isn't necessary. You've got those films. Let's keep them. They're fantastic, wonderful memories. He'll be forever young in those. But I don't know. It's not needed. It's just not needed.
And I think you've hit the nail on the head there. You're trying to recapture. You're trying to recapture something from decades ago when filmmaking was different, ideologies were different.
Yep.
It's all nostalgia bait.
It's what I mean, and it ultimately fails. For me, like I said, cautiously optimistic is the word I'll say for that. Obviously, I see it. It's Indiana Jones, but like I said, the first trailer for Crystal Skull is an amazing trailer. It is spot on. The first trailer that they released for Phantom Menace, it's an amazing trailer, and the film's
an amazing movie.
So who is the true king of cool? Steve McQueen, Paul Newman, Clint Eastwood from Dan. Michael, you're right.
I don't think I've seen a film with either 3 in it. The names ring a bell, but I guess if I'm going to say one regardless, I'd probably say Clint Eastwood.
Fair enough. Ian?
Clint Eastwood, straight away. It's just, it's Clint Eastwood. Yeah.
Dimension? Steve McQueen, Paul Newman, Clint Eastwood. Who's the king of cool?
I'm just gonna take a guess. Clint Eastwood.
All right.
That name's more familiar to me.
Fair enough. Matt?
Steve McQueen. Yeah.
Matt just wants different.
Cool. Cool guy. I mean, he did some amazing films. Real slick sort of character. It's got to be him.
Cool. I mean, out of the 3 of them, one of them, obviously, I've seen Steve McQueen films. I've seen Paul Newman. Clint Eastwood's the one I've seen the most of. I don't know. Clint Eastwood is a name that I'll probably go with just because I'm more familiar with his stuff, and Yeah, you know, I think he's a great actor, great director. There we go. Your mum keeps calling me. Says, what is your favourite overall creature movie in terms of acting and great effects? Dimension, do you wanna, have you got one there?
Yeah, I got an easy one. I really dug Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, do you know what? I think that film gets a lot of flack, and I don't know why, because I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. I had no issue with it at all. Yeah, I thought it was really good. I enjoyed it. Michael.
Gremlins. And that's only because it's the first thing that came into my mind, because I only watched it for the first time recently, and I enjoyed it.
Fair enough. Ian?
Mine would be Alien. I think Alien to me is a creature feature. It's a brilliant film. It's one of the greatest films. I think it's better than even Aliens. Just something special about Alien. Yeah.
What was that Dimension? What'd you say?
Yeah, I agree. I always enjoy Alien, and I'd like to think I like Alien over James Cameron's Aliens.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I think that's a good choice. Matt?
I'd have to say, yeah, Aliens, actually. I think, whilst I do love the original, Aliens is fantastic. Yeah.
See, I can't pick one above the other with Alien or Aliens. I think they're both fantastic films for different reasons.
Very different.
That's true.
Different.
The bit that I tell you what I love about in Alien. Alien's a great choice with that. It truly is. I mean, it stands up today. But it's that scene when you got all the chains hanging and the water dripping, and in full frame in front of you, and you haven't seen it, is the alien. The alien's up in the chains. If you watch that scene, it's there. Yeah. But as a viewer, when you first watch the film, because you don't know what the alien looks like, and it is so alien, you don't actually see it. You don't see it there, but it's there in full frame as the camera pans down, and you're oblivious to it. And I think that's just a fantastic piece of filmmaking there. Really is. I was going to say Jaws for me, but the effects, obviously, I know people have issues. I've never had issues with the effects in Jaws. Never bothered me at all.
As a first-time watcher this year, I never had any issues with Jaws. I actually really enjoyed it, as I mentioned in my review in October. It was either October or November, I can't remember which. But yeah, no, I regret not watching it sooner. What I would say.
Yeah, I do think. I mean, the shark does look fake, obviously.
Well, it was animatronic, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was practical.
Yeah, it was, and they had to have it working. I mean, it couldn't be anything but in the day. And this is what I don't get: people who dig at it. It was made in like late 70s, for Christ's sake. What do you want?
Yeah.
But I'd say that Alien. You're saying Alien, yeah. Alien does would come over that. I'd say. It just looks great. It's it hasn't aged because of its setting more than anything. It hasn't aged.
You have a question for you, AJ. Have you seen Ocean's Reviews, one of his latest videos where he's going over movies he thinks that everyone should own and watch?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Did you see my comment underneath it?
I can't say I did.
I basically commented as soon as he mentioned Jaws that it could be argued for the best movie of all time. I commented saying, "Oh, I can already imagine the big smile you would have gotten watching that video when he mentioned that." I could, you just imagine it. I think I've gotten to know you that well now.
That's a big grin. Yep. Dr. Impossible on the counter punches in.
Oh.
He says, "God bless Tweaky and Dr. Theophany."
Yeah.
That's a reference to
But Rogers.
what was it? Little
Yeah,
robot used to do. It was like biddy biddy biddy, something like that, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Biddy, biddy, biddy. Yeah,
That-
yeah.
That's in agreement with me on Spawn, but also The Crow.
Oh, that would be a good one too.
I think I heard that they were doing something with The Crow recently, a few years ago.
Yeah.
Now, I wouldn't want to see that remade because I just think that's the perfect tribute to
Brandon
Brandon
Lee.
Lee. I think it was his pinnacle film. So tragic that he died. I mean, he died, through the film because of, there was a faulty gun. So I think they should leave it. I don't think they should remake that. I mean, I know they did sequels to it, starring a different actor. But no, not interested in a remake for The Crow.
Film Fanatic says he's going to make a Warhammer film. You got a huge list of films you want to make.
No, I think he might be referring. Well, I know he says I'm going to, but I know actually Henry Cavill, who's a big Warhammer guy, recently stated he wants to make a Warhammer 40K movie, which I'm not a big Warhammer guy. I know my cousin is, but knowing that Henry's a big Warhammer guy, it'd be in no safer hands than his. He would get the lore correct, like he did on The Witcher.
Yeah, it's Warhammer little men that you paint.
Miniature paints, yeah.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I had a geezer in work who used to do like that.
Yeah. I tried it once when I was a kid. I never really got into it.
He got sacked for drug use. He would come into work high all the time.
Oh, God.
He had bags
What-
under his eyes and everything.
What-
Sorry?
Something's gone wrong with Matt on my end. It looks like his head is violently shaking.
Matt? He
Me?
looks all right to me. He looks all right to me. I've lost Scott. Scott's dementia, sorry. He's just got his...
I'm fine.
on.
No,
Sorry?
now you're doing that.
Now it's fine.
Michael's shaking. You were shaking then.
I don't know. I'm in agreement
Odd.
with Spawn. Dan says, I think he's... Wait there. I'm in agreement with Spawn being remade, and also I'd like to see The Crow remade. Not that the 90s movie is bad. Just think a lot more could be done with yes. Good day, AJ and mates. Keep on collecting.
All right.
Richard Voosden says, afternoon, fellas. Enjoying the chat. Phil Fanatic has to go now. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Black Panther. For what? Black Panther. Sorry, I've got no context. Thank you for the tea. That's the wife. Bye at the Film Fanatic. Dimensions back. A domesticated superhero. Is that to Superman in Superman and Lois? I'm guessing. Jamie, hi Jamie, how are you keeping? Hope you're well. I'll be honest, Jamie's probably over on. I think Big Paulie's got a chat going on actually at the moment. He's probably over there. Don't worry, AJ. You'll buy the bloody steelbook of Indiana Jones and ring up your mega cash in pension. Jamie Hart. Hi, Jamie. Paul Newman. He's handsome. Jamie also says she prefers Alien to Aliens 2. Yeah, I can't. I like I said, I don't know. They're different films, aren't they?
They are, yeah.
Alien is horror. It's a sci-fi horror. Aliens is just out and out action. It's an action movie.
I still
But both
need to see them.
equally as good as one another.
I just recently actually picked up a box set on Blu-ray that has the first 4: Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, and Alien Resurrection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Alien Resurrection is the one I'm to stay away from. Is that right?
I'd watch it.
It's got some good ideas in it. It's got some decent ideas.
Yeah, it's okay.
However, it feels more like a I don't know. It feels like it's stepping into sort of parody territory. It feels like it's the characters in it. For me, I feel they don't feel like real people. They feel like caricatures of real people.
Okay.
It doesn't feel like they've got actors in it that feel that they are the roles they're playing. If that makes sense. I had the same issue with Godzilla, and I'm talking about the 1998 Matthew Broderick Godzilla. You know, the military in it, the people they had playing the military didn't feel like they should be actors playing military. You know, I didn't feel they were military people. And Alien 4 has the same effect on me. But there are good ideas within the film. Because some of the film was actually
It's entertaining. It's still entertaining, I think. I think if you don't think too much about it, it's still entertaining. And that's how I look at it. You know,
That's how I go.
I can watch it and still be entertained, even though you know its weaknesses. And a lot of people are really hard on it. It's like they are with even 3. I mean, gets a lot of flack still. But you know, I think if you're getting something and just enjoying it, then I think that's fine. And I would never hate on a picture just because there were weaknesses in it. You know.
Absolutely, I would. You know, it's not. I wouldn't say don't watch it.
Yeah.
I'd say, you know, it's a different vibe you get from it than the others. See, I've got no issue with Alien 3. I know it's a weaker film than the other 2, but you know, the problem was coming out of Aliens. People, you know, you had Alien, which for excitement was sort of down there. You had Aliens that went up there, that upped the ante, and then with an Alien 3, people wanted that ante upped even more, but they didn't. They took a step back and then back to Alien kind of a territory. And for me, I had no issue with that. The film does have issues of its own, obviously, but I thought it was it bookended the 3 films very well. It closed out that chapter. But there we go.
I think even Sigourney Weaver wasn't keen on coming back, but they just gave her a lump of cash, and
they
she
did.
said, "Well, okay."
That's how it's done.
Sorry?
That's how it's done. People don't want to do it; they'll just do it for the cash.
That's right.
Right. So because it wasn't needed.
No. So Dimension. What do you think of the 4th one? A 3rd and 4th.
Oh, I'm not sure about that one.
Okay.
But I'm gonna say this about Alien and Aliens. It's kind of the same way as Terminator by James Cameron.
All right.
Because both those movies, they're awesome for different reasons, and I actually prefer the Terminator, the original movie, because it's horror and it's slasher.
Yes. Yeah, I prefer the first one, the second one. I've always cited the first one as my favourite Terminator film.
Again, I couldn't really separate them. I think they're both fantastic films.
Yeah, they are. Well, you know, I don't have issue with. I think Terminator 2 is flawed. I think it's got flaws in it, and I've got, you know, I've done that video where I sort of my perfect version of Terminator 2. It's got flaws, and there's a version in my head that's better than the version we got.
I think if there hadn't been any sequels to Terminator, say we just only had the Terminator film, we'd rate it higher than we do. I think that's it, because I think it is that good. It's something. It's just everything's right in Terminator. Everything really is, and I think if we just had that, we'd be it'd be up there with, you know, as a real classic film on its own. But because we've got all the follow-ups to it, I know people will quite rightly, I suppose, praise Terminator 2. You know, I think we still could praise the first one because it's outstanding. It really is outstanding. His first film.
Yeah, I agree. Michael, have you seen the Terminator films?
Nope. It's on my backlog whenever I pick them up.
Well, if you ask
Wow,
me, have
wow,
I
wow.
seen the Terminator films? The answer to
Yeah.
that is yes. And I'm one of those people who loves the third one. I do not like Salvation so much.
Okay.
Genesis is a guilty pleasure, and I don't mind Dark Fate.
I enjoy the third one. I get a lot. I think it's a fun movie.
Yes.
I think it's a fun ride. I think it's just from the get go, from the beginning to the end, it just doesn't let up, and it looks magnificent. The effects in it look fantastic. There's issues again with the comedy side of it, but I think it's a fun film that I can put on and I'm not bored. It doesn't bore me at all.
I say the same.
Yeah, I feel the same about Genesis, the Arnie one, when he's back. I think Genesis is really fun. It's not the greatest, but it's fun and it just feels good. I can watch that, definitely. In fact, in many ways, though I'm a big Linda Hamilton fan, the last one that they did when she came back, I enjoyed it, but I don't know. I've just felt a little bit disappointed slightly, I think, with it. And it's just, they probably shouldn't have made it. That's it, really.
Yeah, I think it's a shame.
Probably carried on.
I do think it's a shame that they can't get it right. They can't, because Salvation was meant to be the beginning of a trilogy. Genesis was then meant to be the beginning of a trilogy. Dark Fate was then meant to be the beginning of a trilogy.
Yeah.
I do think it's a shame that they couldn't do anything with it. I didn't mind the TV series either. I thought the TV series
it's good. Very good
cancelled.
TV series. Yeah.
Never watched it.
I need to
quite
check that
like
out.
Salvation.
I never knew it had a TV series.
Sorry?
I never
You
knew
gotta pick that up quite cheap. The TV series. It's well worth watching.
Yeah.
The more you know.
I like the actor who plays the Terminator in it. Dylan Gellhunt, or his name is.
I quite like Salvation because they took it into the future, and obviously, it's always been bringing back into present time and that. And I thought some good ideas with Salvation. It's a shame that they didn't continue it, but
the problem is it wasn't the future you wanted to see.
Well, no, but I mean, it was the future that we.
Yeah, what people wanted was that future that we've seen in the Terminator and Terminator 2, whereas Salvation was just desert set, wasn't it?
Yeah, it sort of had kind of a Mad Max feel about it in a way, I suppose. I didn't mind it. There's elements to it I quite enjoyed.
Yeah, there was elements I liked, but I don't really visit them often. Them later films.
No.
Jamie says I saw Buck Rogers at the theatre when I was a kid. Loved the TV show as well.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Was that Man Out of Time, wasn't it? It was a bit like, the sort of Planet of the Apes with that kind of feel to it. I mean, it was a great time for TV. You had that. You had Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
The A-Team.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of the others, but Airwolf.
Donald P. Belisario.
Yeah.
There's a name.
Fantastic 80s Knight Rider.
Yeah.
80s was fantastic for TV. There was so many good shows.
80s was I don't know, that's when things sort of came into their own, when special effects took more of an advancement. The 80s gave a lot of great stuff, and that's why a lot of it, I think a lot of stuff now still goes back to it. I mean, you go down the toy aisle in the toy shop, right? You've got Thundercats there, you've got He-Man there, you've got Transformers there. All these toy lines from the 80s still surviving, being revived. And I don't know, it must be a nostalgia. Obviously, it's a nostalgia thing.
It's always nostalgia.
But yeah, it was great. It was a great era. It really was.
I would argue that each decade, I think the 60s has a massive legacy of brilliant TV series. Is that if you watch now, you think, wow, these are fantastic. You know, all those Irwin Allen productions, absolutely fantastic. I mean, you must love Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, AJ. I mean, wasn't that a brilliant series? Absolutely. All of them were. I loved them all. Lost in Space, even though that went on perhaps a bit much. But and as I've told you, Land at Giants, absolutely mad about Land at Giants. Absolutely fantastic.
I remember watching all that sort of stuff.
Great series. And of course, British ones, we had a lot of great series as well in 60s. You know, as I said, the Avengers epitomised how good things were. But we had things like Man in a Suitcase, which were like the sort of spy kind of things. Danger Man, which led to the brilliant Prisoner. The Prisoner series was perhaps one of the greatest pieces of TV ever transmitted. I know that's controversial to say that, but those 17 episodes were so controversial, but so way ahead of the time. Absolutely fantastic. But anyway, I won't go on, but 70s, I could point out loads in 70s as well. Yeah.
So has anyone seen The Relic? Richard Fusden says, good creature feature, worth a view, was The Relic.
Great. It's a good film. Excellent.
Is that the one set in the museum?
Yeah. Yeah. I reviewed it actually about a couple of months ago, I think. Yeah, really. Yeah.
Michael Madsen.
I've not seen it.
Is it Michael Madsen?
It's brilliant. It is in
Michael
this museum. Yeah.
Is it Michael Madsen?
I think you might be right.
Yeah.
If it's The Relic, the name, I've seen it, but it would have been when it first. Tom Sizemore. Let's have a look. Who's in it? Oh no, Penelope Ann, Thingamajig, Tom Sizemore, Linda Hunt. Yeah, no, I know the one with you're saying with Tom Sizemore. Not Tom Sizemore, with no, he was in Species, weren't he? Madsen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, The Relic. I'm sure that's in a lot of it takes place in a museum.
I think you're right.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
the title would suggest as such.
It's
been a while since I've seen it. But
there's all these people that get trapped, these dignitaries that have put money into the museum all from the town. They all get trapped in there. And it's a good way of getting rid of people that you don't like. All these pompous people and the creatures having a wonderful time, and so are you, saying, get that one. It's wonderful. Yeah. I love them when they get rid of all these objectionable characters.
See, I wouldn't. So that was 1997, so I wouldn't have seen it, since for 25 years.
Wow, 97, blimey.
There you go, Matt. Another person commenting on your James Bond look.
No, more like Milk Train, man. I'd say.
David says Relic is a good one. Richard says Tremors. Yep, Tremors is gone.
I've heard of it.
Yeah,
Michael,
Tremors. Yeah.
Michael, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes for Dan here. I said we'd come back round to it. If there's time, I'd like to hear more on Michael's dislike for The Empire Strikes Back. Star Wars I can take or leave, to be honest. Michael, how long do you need to,
I'll just at least 2 or 3 hours.
I'll give you 2 minutes.
I just did not gel with it when I watched it as a kid. I just thought it was boring. I couldn't keep my attention. And then, what was it, 2020 or 2019, one of those two, I sat down for Star Wars Day to rewatch the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Just because I was slowly getting back into Star Wars before yanked myself back out and I watched it. I loved A New Hope. A New Hope is the second best in the trilogy. I rewatched Empire and I was just on my phone for the vast majority of it. I found the Hoth bit boring, the Dagobah stuff boring. No, well, actually, no. I liked the bit of the Dagobah stuff, but it was the bit where they was focusing on the Millennium Falcon escaping from the others and then hiding in that, getting eaten by that snake yolk and stuff like. I found that boring. The final fight was okay, not the greatest in the series, but yeah, no, it just did not gel with me at all. I might do a video on that next year, but
I think you
we'll
should.
see.
I think you should. So Michael's now banned from all future
I went to see that film
Live
3
stream.
times in the cinema. That was fantastic.
It's a piece of shit. Is what it is.
Oh my god!
That's harsh. That's best Star Wars film ever made.
But what was the first
first
Star
one's
Wars
best.
film you saw? Which was the first one
The
that you
first
saw?
The prequel series.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah.
See, you're looking at it from a different perspective. We saw this. We didn't know anything about. Well, we'd had A New Hope, but we didn't realise that obviously Darth Vader was Luke Skywalker's father. So when we saw it in the cinema, it was like, oh my god! They kept it secret. Nobody knew.
Because there was
And
no
that's-
internet.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
no,
There's no internet.
Like I love seeing the interview that Mark Hamill gave about it on the Graham Norton show about how he had to keep it secret, and then him doing the impression of Harrison Ford. I love watching that every time it comes, and anytime I see it.
See, in the words of Simon Pegg in Spaced, you weren't there at the beginning.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
So Richard says, I think you should do a video on that, Michael.
I definitely will. I'll
be
schedule it in at
And that
some
could-
point.
Be a generational thing as well.
It could be.
You know,
He grew up
Could
with his
be.
little Jar Jars. He likes his little Jar Jars. And he likes Ewoks. Sorry.
No, I used to like Ewoks. Now I don't like them that much.
I'm joking with you. If you've seen Spaced, see Spaced.
Yeah.
Matt, you've got Spaced. Jimmy gifted it to you. You should watch
yeah,
it.
no, I still haven't watched it.
Seriously,
Yeah.
you won't be disappointed. You won't be disappointed.
I'll get round to it. I will get round to it.
So Richard says Predator for Creature Feature.
Still
Um,
need to watch Predator. I only recently picked up Predator 1 and 2 on Blu-ray.
Wait, you haven't watched them yet?
Never. Oh, I've seen bits and pieces of the first Predator, just not in full.
Now, if you say Predator is no good or boring,
Oh no, from the
well, I'll be
No.
totally shocked.
no from the bits that I've seen, that what I can remember, I enjoyed it. So I know when I go to watch it in full, I'm going to enjoy it. At least I hope so. Touch wood.
Mm. Okay,
I
so
really hope so.
Jamie says favourite Creature Feature is Jaws. My favourite film of all time, so I can't say much
It's a brilliant film.
about that. Movie chats.
All right. Now, is that Big Steve or Little Steve?
That's Big Steve. Little Steve will be under the name Oliver Ian.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I learnt that last time round.
Yeah.
Okay, so who has a soft spot for the 1976 version of King Kong?
Never seen it.
Never seen it.
That's the one that Jimmy picked up the other day, isn't it?
Yeah.
That was a nice looking steelbook. I gotta admit, that is a really nice steelbook.
All I
Isn't
know
that
about is
Jessica
the,
Lange?
all I know is
Yeah.
the Peter Jackson King Kong and Kong Skull Island.
Yeah. There's been a few.
Have you seen it, Ian?
Yeah, is that
Jeff
Jessica
Bridges.
Lange, isn't it? Is that a Jessica Lange version?
I think so.
Jeff Bridges, isn't it?
Oh.
1976 version.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think I've seen it, but I can't recall it.
No.
I think it was on the TV, probably back in the 90s, 80s, 90s, but I just can't recall it.
76 Kong isn't bad. It's the one I grew up watching. I enjoy it, although I do really love the 2005 remake, which is the Peter Jackson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen bits and pieces
Fantastic
of
film.
the Peter Jackson one from what I can remember as a kid. I don't know if I've seen it in full or not. That's just my shit memory. I can remember some things in perfect details, but others not so much.
It's great. Really good film.
Sorry. So Jamie says, I think Terminator 3 is very underrated.
Absolutely.
I haven't seen it, so no comment.
Like I said, it's a fun film. Action from beginning to end. Special effects look amazing in it. I'd go as far as to say I think that's where
Nice to get.
he looks the best. When at the end, when he's part of the leg's missing, you can see through some of the face. I think the effects are fantastic in it.
I don't mind. It was nice
I
to
think
have a
the TX
female Terminator as well.
That's what I like about that movie, the TX.
It was easy on the eye as well. She was very nice.
Kristanna Loken.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know
it's
the actress's
her
name.
name. I think her name is Christina Loken.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
in fact,
I never saw
I
anything,
realized-
anything else.
I realized she started Mortal Kombat Conquest TV series, start as Tasha.
Okay, I know she done a TV series called Painkiller Jane, which is based on a comic book done by a geezer called Joe Quesada, who became president of Marvel Comics. It might have only lasted one season. I do have it on DVD somewhere. I don't know where it is actually.
I'm sure you'll find it during the transfer of media into your new room.
It could still be in the attic. I could still have boxes in the attic of DVD. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Terminator 3, like I said, it's not. I can understand people's problems with it. Get that? It's a flawed movie, but it's a fun movie. I've always had fun with it. And interestingly, I took my son to see it when it came out in 2003. He was 4.
Wow.
Took him to see it at 4 years old because I could, because it was a 12A. And he thoroughly enjoyed it because it's just action.
Yeah.
It's just a visual overload of action. I've always viewed Alien as a haunted house film set on a ship. Aliens is Vietnam with aliens on a planet. Yeah.
Interesting take on it. I'll keep that on board whenever I do go and watch it in the new year.
Big Steve says, I enjoy the older creatures from Clash of Titans and Sinbad.
Yeah.
The old stop motion.
Yeah, great.
Didn't they do a remake of Clash of the Titans
Yep.
in the early 2000s?
Sam Worthington.
Yeah.
Yeah, because one of my friends keeps telling me to watch it, and I have no interest in it.
Clash and they've done Clash of Titans and Wrath. Right.
Yeah, I didn't mind them, but you can't beat the original stop motion.
Yeah.
Ooh. A lot of static there. Was that from Dimension?
I think
Yeah.
so.
That was me. That was me.
Yeah.
Sorry. It was our garage door.
Oh yeah, okay, I can hear that now. I mean, I understand. Yeah, I can hear it if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now you say what it is, it clicks. Yeah, I like the, and I think that's part of the like that I have for Army of Darkness is that the effects in it are very much done in that vein, with its skeletons marching around and that sort of a thing. I agree with that 100%. Says Jamie. Jamie says troll. Yeah, there was someone who was posting. John Lloyd was posting unwanted Words. Just unwanted
Well,
words in capitals like what he done the other time.
So it wasn't your Betsy mate drop it in criticizing you for not liking Schindler's List.
No, that's all rectified.
Oh, how's it been?
That's all sorted.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Richard. The highway chase scene in T3 was superb. Great CGI. Yes, it was. That's the bit where you got the fire truck and you've got the big crane and it drops a thing in the ground, doesn't it? And then the crane truck goes over.
Yeah. I thought they did some of that practically, though, didn't they?
They did where the crane is going through the building.
Yeah.
When the crane bit is turned, or is that the fire truck?
I'm sure some of it
crane,
was
isn't it?
practically.
It's the crane, and Arnie's hanging from the chain on the hook of the crane, and it goes outwards and it goes through that, smashes through that building. That was done practically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that it's got some good. It's got some great. I think it's got some great
Set pieces.
action. Yes. John Lloyd, thanks for the public service announcements. Yeah. Glenn A. Larson, Fall Guy, was the best action series he ever produced with Fox. Larson was a Universal man. Yeah, I picked up the thing, didn't I? Season 1 of The Fall Guy a little while ago. They didn't release anything more than 1 and 2, I think. So seasons 1 and 2 were released on DVD. Nothing further, which is a shame. Matt, am I right in thinking you didn't like Fall Guy? Or you never watched it? Why is that?
Yeah, I didn't mind it. It wasn't
okay.
my favourite show, but I didn't mind. Yeah, I didn't mind the Fall Guy. I think I always saw him as the $6 million man. You know, he'd always been that role, hadn't he? So yeah, whenever I saw him in the Fall Guy, I always thought of him as the $6 million man. But yeah, it was entertaining.
I'm very aware that we've only got 12 minutes left or 13 minutes left before I end this. So I'm going to try and jump through some of the comments quick. Richard says, Night of the Lepers, 70s creature feature about giant rabbits. Loved that as a kid. Can't say I've ever seen it. Jamie says, yes, the relic is set in a museum. The relic was directed by Peter Hyams. Not bad. BBC partly funded that film with Paramount Pictures. I didn't know that.
Interesting.
Jamie says, Empire is the one that everyone considers to be one of the best sequels of all time. I can't deny that.
I can.
Even mentioned in Scream 2. Yep. Here you go. Dr. Impossible and Counterpunch says, Michael's dodging the question like a politician. Not a straight answer.
Yeah.
You got to get your video out on that one, Michael. People will want to see it.
Yeah, I'll try and schedule it in for February. January's videos are already planned out, and I think I just have 3 or 4 more videos to record for January, and then I just look into doing content for February then.
Well, if you do that, if you pull the trigger on that one, you're a brave man.
I know. I have seen what some of the Star Wars fans will do to some people, especially those that claim to like The Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi. I think Last Jedi is a braver film than the others.
I mean, I switched it off halfway through and I haven't gone back to it since. So I never finished it.
I think it's visually the best of the 3. I think it's the bravest storytelling. But yeah, it's not a good film. I don't really think any of the sequel trilogy is great.
No, they're really not.
Anyway, let's go. One Real Nerd is back, and we've got to get him on, Matt. I'll message him about that one I'm doing on 29th.
Okay.
King Kong, Justin Lang, the best. Young Jeff Bridges, So handsome, says Jamie. Great score from John Barry. John Barry was good. You're the assassin, Matt in black. Watch out, Michael. Kristana Loken now lives in New York State and owns an apple farm. She's writing now. Okay. The legendary 80s critic says, evening, chaps. Old man Clint says, good evening, gentlemen. This is much more fruitful stream than... that's a bit harsh. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, I like Playtendo Guy. Like, I the one time he had me on, I enjoyed it. Like, I don't know how he does the long live streams. I think, like, what his most recent one was like nearly 8 hours.
What?
Yeah,
He's put out 4.
His Wednesdays.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Guy.
Do you know he's a? Do you know he's only 26 years old?
Oh,
Yeah.
he's
And really, one of the nicest guys on
fantastic.
YouTube.
I think
Really friendly guy.
He's a great bloke. Yeah.
I think calling him a tosser is a bit harsh.
Yeah, no.
He's
absolutely.
He's young. He's young. He's
a great lad.
He's
He is.
yeah, he's he's a young guy. He's decent. Those 4K £50 box sets are pretty expensive. Yes, they are. Yeah, they are. Let's not get me started on that. I only paid £35 a piece when you look at it. Thoughts on the Barbie movie trailer? Dimension, have you seen the Barbie
not
movie
interested.
trailer?
No, I don't think that's for me. Not interested.
I'd agree.
Matt,
Yeah, I'd agree.
have you seen
Not
it?
interested.
Ian, have you seen the Barbie
No.
movie trailer?
No, he don't. No interest. No.
Come on, Michael.
I've seen bits and pieces of the trailer, but it's definitely one that I might go, and it's either one I'll go and see or I'll wait for it to come out on home media and then I'll watch it, because I know the new Doctor Ncuti Gatwa, he's going to be in it, and Ryan Gosling looks pretty good, and so does Margot Robbie from the stills that I've seen. So it's definitely one I'll probably will end up seeing.
I didn't even know the trailer had dropped. I'll be honest. It's one of those films that will just pass me by. AJ, I messaged you on Twitter. Cool. We'll sort out. Hopefully, you'll be free on when is it, Matt? When am I doing my Christmas live? You've scheduled it in for me.
29th, and then on my channel on the 30th.
Okay, 29th at what time, Matt?
2 till 4.
Okay. Matt's in charge of times. So if you're free, 2 till 4 UK time on the 29th, let me know. And we'll get you on another. Dimension, you're welcome as well. Who have you got, Matt, for that? Because you've got all the big ones. You've got the heavy hitters.
That's fair. So I think Ian, you might be on my one on the 30th. I think I've got Pete Playtendo. He's coming on. Alan Kermit's Ghost.
Dan?
Dan's Man Cave, and I think you, Ian, you're on for that one. I can't remember who else, but yeah, there's a few people. I think with AJ and myself on there, I think there's about nearly 10, which I think is the total that you can get. 10 people on the stream. So yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Dimension, what are you doing on the 29th? Michael, you're with me on the 29th, aren't you?
I am indeed.
Let me see.
Right, because what we're doing is we've got 2 days of it with different people on. We're getting loads of people on, but we're sort of going to do a year in review and a year in look ahead. So we're going to talk about things that have been and things that are to come.
Your
plans
highlights
on,
on your channel.
Your what? Sorry,
what you've achieved.
No plans on the 29th. So if you'd like to invite me on, I'll be there.
Fantastic. Yeah, I'll get that over to you. I can't remember who else I invited on.
I think you invited Daniel from This Is My Life on, because he was saying
I
it to me
did.
because
I did.
yeah, because I asked him on for my live tomorrow, but unfortunately he's busy.
So we're going to be talking about what's to come and what's been. The wife said hello. Say hello back. Peter's the top man, very genuine.
Yep.
Yeah, he's very.
Absolutely.
He is. He was one. He was. I think he was the first person to ever invite me on a live stream when I started on YouTube.
Yeah.
I remember that. You know, I ain't got a bad word to say about him. That's all.
Nor
He's
do
young.
I.
He's passionate. He's seen about the same amount of films as Michael.
Oh, don't I know it?
Yeah, I know. I saw that video, that live, but you know, one criticism: Christ, does his videos, does his lives go on?
Yeah, like
They
I
go
said,
on.
his most recent one was nearly 8 hours long, and by the end of it, it was just him and one of his other guests.
Wow.
I don't know how
God,
he does it.
2000. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
So Dan
God,
said-
that bloke.
He's very-
He's entertaining. That rock god bloke.
Who's
He's
that?
really entertaining.
Yeah. But
Yes.
Pete's
He's
very
funny.
welcoming. He'll
Yeah.
you know, he'll invite anybody onto his streams.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
He's a
one of the
good-
nicest.
he is,
blokes,
he's
one of
great.
the nicest guys you'll ever come across.
Yeah, he is. Definitely.
Yeah.
Totally 100%.
I mean, I was surprised
Yeah.
when he invited me on onto his stream. I was actually very happy that he did because I've watched a bunch of his videos and tried to check his streams every now and again. I didn't think I was quote unquote big enough to be featured onto his stream.
No,
That was actually when I just hit 100 subscribers. Actually,
yeah, no, he brings, like I said, when I first started on YouTube, I don't think I had 100 subscribers, and I came on to his. He's always worked that way. He's always sort of opened up to the smaller, find new people who are fresh.
Yeah.
Shall we say?
Absolutely.
Dan says, I know time is nearly up, but another very enjoyable stream, and I look forward to coming on 30th. It will be fun meeting all these people for the first time. Yeah, so anyone still watching, like I said, on the 29th, I've got a live on my channel. Dimension said he'll be on. Michael's on with me. Danny's on with me. I'll invite others as well. I have put out a few invites. I'll message the one real nerd. See if we can get him on live. That'd be good. And if anyone's watching who wants to come on, drop me a message on or wherever in the message of this. But we're going to be talking about the year that's gone and the year to come, basically. It's all like a year in review and a year looking a year forward. But so I'll end it there because it is practically 6 o'clock. I haven't had no dinner yet, and I know Matt's having his in a minute.
It's getting cold. Cold out here.
And Dan says, Michael, never think you are not big enough to feature on a stream. Many of the best channels have a smaller amount of subscribers.
Yeah, that's very
They
true.
do indeed. They do
Very
indeed.
true.
Take care all. So I'm going to end it there.
Good
So thank you everyone for coming on. It's been fantastic. Thank you for all the messages, with the exception of what's his face, who I don't know who it is, Lloyd or something. Yeah. Where I read out some of his messages last time, I actually got my video sort of restricted slightly.
yeah.
Because the words I was saying of what he said, obviously trigger something, and
yeah, YouTube can be like that. Yeah,
yeah.
They picky and choosy in relation to that, but yeah.
You know what, Michael? What's your language on them lives? You'll get restricted slightly.
Oh, well,
Right, so I'm going to end it there.
Happens.
Yeah. So take care, all. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.
Bye, guys. Time to stop by.
Bye.